G'day, my name's Bill, these are the bots, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Smokescreen. Now for those of you who might be a bit confused, no, this is not G1 Smokescreen. This is Smokescreen from Transformers Prime, in which he showed up towards the tail end of the series as the Hot Rod Tub character who almost became a Prime. Yeah. Starting off, the paints and plastics on this guy are really nice, with them feeling very solid and nice to the touch. The paint for what there is actually really good, and there is no bleeding in spots where you might expect, like on the door windows. The sculpting on this figure is really strange, with the lower half being highly sculpted, and the top half being, well, not very sculpted, which is unique. But even if it is rather minimal in its sculpting, it is very accurate as an overall design to the Prime design. Something cool is on the left arm you can see this, the phase shifter, which is Smokescreen's go-to gadget in the Prime show that allowed him to phase through things, like go through walls, all kinds of stuff. And I love this little nod because it shows the care the designers put into this, and it proves Hasbro cares about more than just G1, which is typically what you'd find these kind of Easter eggs on, a G1 type figure, like Powerglide from this same wave. Something that was a bit up in the air about this guy is the hood chest and the way it sits. It does this because it's the actual front of the car, not a faux piece, which is always appreciated. But it does mean that the chest doesn't quite sit flush. It's not as bad as it looked when they first revealed him, but it's not as good as I would like. Nah. Also, the door wings on this guy are very good, with them being on this cool little series of hinges that allows you to display them however you want, even with the lack of QC on one of these wings, but more on that later. Now that head sculpt is very well done, and I mean very well done. I mean, after all the drama with the initial first few Prime designs, which I won't get into here because that's a whole nother kettle of fish. But those first few figures like RC and Knockout look very much G1ified and not very accurate to the Prime designs that we all know and love. But then the designers took our feedback and kind of changed things a bit, like with Skyquake and Dreadwing. Even though it was an amalgamation of both the Prime and G1 design for Skyquake, still turned out very good, and that head sculpt on the Skyquake is very accurate to Prime in my opinion. And all that aside, this head sculpt is excellent. It is spot on Prime Smokescreen, and there is really no change from that original design, which is exactly what we wanted and should have gotten from the start, unlike whatever the hell this is. The articulation on this figure is, well, it's good, but has a few unique components to it. Here's the typical waist swivel, ankle pivots, and, well, no wrist swivels, which I'm going to let him off the hook here. Makes sense for no wrist swivels because of the gimmick. He's got to fold his hands away and all that, so I can give that a slide. But the problem I have with this figure's articulation is the legs, which is that the shins don't plug in. And if you do try and plug it in, you lock the entire knee so you can't bend it without unplugging the shin, which is just a bloody catch-22 that doesn't make sense. And quite frankly, this whole kerfuffle of articulation busting really puts a sour view of this figure in my mind. But that's not the only thing that does it. We'll get to that later. For accessories, Smokescreen comes with, well, not much. Just these little bits here that are his arm cannons from the show, which if you fold away the hands, plug them into the arms, you can recreate his look from the cartoon, which is a pretty cool feature. For size comparisons, here is Smokescreen with Age of the Primes Animated Ratchet, Age of the Primes Nexus Prime, Retro Wheelie, and SS86 Skywarp. Now, on to transformation. Transformation is actually well, really intuitive. Some really unique moves, like how the arms form the front of the hood and the hood chest piece being the actual hood chest. It's always appreciated, especially on prime designs that have always been very hard to translate to plastic form without faux parts. And what a car mode, hey? Just look at it, it's so sleek and stylish, and there not being one hard angle on this thing. The awesome blue accents and the classic 38 on the doors, which is extremely screen accurate. Although you do have some visible feet in the back, which is annoying, but I mean, who displays their figures from the back? And also, you can do this. You can plug the arm cannons onto the back of the feet, and you can have some booster action, which I don't think you ever used in the show, but hey, it's a cool feature, and it's weapon storage, if you like that stuff. But with this mode comes my biggest gripe with the figure, and that is the QC. Particularly in the alt mode, mostly with how the figure holds together, or lack thereof. The feet don't want to stay pegged together, the side kibble bits on the legs don't want to sit flush, and the right side door doesn't stay plugged into the alt mode. Also, the right shoulder doesn't sit flush and really breaks up the look of the hood of the car. All this combined with the weird feet, shin things, has really soured my view on this figure. But at least I think these issues are exclusive to my copy. I haven't heard of this on anyone else's, so take that what you will. And I'm pleased to say it does roll as all rolling things should. For size comparisons, here is Smokescreen with Age of the Prime's Animated Ratchet, Age of the Prime's Nexus Prime, Retro Wheelie, and SS86 Skywarp. So overall, I really wanted to like this figure. I grew up watching Prime, Smokescreen was one of my favourite designs, not necessarily my favourite characters, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, my point is, I really wanted to enjoy this toy, but the QC is just a real letdown. The alt mode not holding together, the bits popping off, the weird shins. I just can't recommend this figure. Honestly, I would say probably skip him, unless you're a big Prime fan like me, or you're just looking for a cheap figure and it's on deep discount, like 40 to 50% off, I reckon. Which means sadly it gets a 5.5 out of 10 from me. It's just a big letdown in my opinion. Although I am quite a fan of the alt mode, it looks really good. Aside from the QC not holding together, it looks amazing. Although I'm quite a fan of the theory that next year's listing of an Age of the Prime's barricade is going to be a repaint of this figure. A Prime barricade, just like how the original subscription service figure was a repaint of the old Prime Smokescreen, which is a really good looking figure. And well, if that's the case, then I might just get it. Only would be if they fix the QC on it, which I reckon they would. Oh well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. So I've been Bill. These are the bots. Until next time, have a good one.